Welcome to WDEX The Voice. My name's Todd Saylor, and I'm actually the author of the book, The Brand and the Attitude Wired Differently. So the title of the show this evening is called, Now What? My God, Trump, he blew it. The last 60 days were atrocious. Now, I know there's a lot of people saying it was before 60 days, and I get all that. This man gave up a lot of things, and this is not what we're here to debate tonight. We're here to talk about leadership, and if I'm a leader, I have to understand that there are people that think differently than me. I have to understand to get along with the world, to lead through the masses, to take 15 companies through these kind of waters. We have to think differently. I can't always be right. These politicians, like, why can't they just ever admit they're wrong? Why can't they just ever say they're sorry? Why don't they ever go back and say, I recant that? They just don't. But see, they're not just held to that high level. We're held to that level too. And I got it wrong on some things. And I've looked at things in precarious ways. And it doesn't mean I don't love my country. It doesn't mean I don't care for Mr. Donald Trump, the president of our United States. It did some amazing, wonderful things. It just means that as a leader, I can't say I'm aligned with Mr. Trump and not go back and say what I felt that's what's happening wrong. And I didn't do that over the last 3 years. I was just focused on the economic front and the things he was doing right. So I'm going to own this one right now. I'm going to ask you to forgive me. This one's on me. Athletes do it all the time. I mean, I remember playing in college. I watch TV. I watch the NBA. I watch football. When they make mistakes, and even in the heat of the battle, it's on me. Well, I'm challenging both sides of any contest to understand the rules of some type of engagement, of decency, of how to be a winner all the time, not only when it's in your best interest. This is about leadership, and I want to be viewed as a leader of my friends and family. And if I only pound my chest when we're winning, I have put myself in default. I've invalidated myself as being a leader. I want you to understand I could not move forward until I addressed a very, very difficult matter in my own life. I'm aware of my bias. And I'm going to tell you that growing up, I never met a black person until the time I was 17 or 18 years old in high school. My understanding of black people was different than what it should have been. We didn't grow up in a family that was hating black people. It was just times of the 60s and the 70s, and there was a lot going on. But the things that were put in my head as a child through the whiteness of the environment that I lived in precluded me from seeing both sides of the equation. As a 10 and 11-year-old boy, you don't pick your environment. And I want you to know when I'm talking about myself right now, I want you to be thinking about yourself because I'm going out there. I'm going to tell you a little story. I was 10 or 11 years old, and the neighbor man, he said to me, he says, Todd, come over here. I need your help. I'm going to charge my car. The battery's dead. And he said, okay, now listen, when you charge a car, you never charge the car wrong or the engine could blow up. I said, yes, sir, I know. I'll do it. You just tell me what to do. He says, well, listen, don't touch them together. You put the red on the red and you put the black on the black, right? And if you just screw that up, you're going to blow the car up and you're going to get hurt. You might get killed. So listen, I want you to remember this. Remember this. Remember this. Before I start this car, red is positive and black is negative. Remember, negative is N-word. Remember, N-word is negative. Your brain starts to form patterns and culture, and you hear enough of that stuff as a little boy, and it starts to stick there. It doesn't leave there. It just wanders around in your brain. And I can't even not imagine what maybe some young black people were hearing about white people when they were growing up from other people. And so what I'm telling you is bias is real. It's cultural. It's real. We have it. And if you don't admit it, you can never move through it. This neuroplasticity of our brain is not always a blessing. The neuroplasticity of our brain can be a curse as well. You see, the curse, the neuroplasticity, the brain, the subconscious of your brain harbors good things and it also harbors bad things. It doesn't know the difference. You are the exclusive denominator of you. If you know your bias is wrong, then change it. And you can do it, but it doesn't happen overnight. Just don't wake up and say, I don't see color. If I hear that another time from another human being that I know that doesn't even understand what they're talking about, because it doesn't happen overnight from a 75-year-old person or 60 or anybody that's been through the times, you have to purposely condition your bias. You have to work at it. And if we're willing to own it, our bias towards Republicans, our bias towards liberals, our bias towards black people, our bias towards Mexican people, if we're willing to own these things and why we have them, then we can fix them. And if we can fix those, then other things in the political front, which are dominating our lives right now, can move a little bit more genuinely. Now we're going to move through the 7 completions of the concept. These are the things that I want to talk about. No mas moments. No mas is not quitting. How we end the battle is imperative. If you're a Republican, we just lost the election. We don't want to lose, but while we're losing, we don't want to throw out every good senator that we had up there stumping for us. We don't want to throw out every ally we had on the Democratic Party that we were working for the last 4 years. We don't want to throw out all of our good followers that have been following lock and step and knowing that a good leadership moment should be and how it's done. Think about it. If you're a football team and you blow it, you don't want to fly it into the wall. After the game is ended, after it's over, after you've decided that there's a clear winner, which, listen, it's over. Congress and the Senate have spoke. An uprising is not the answer. So when you're done with the game, you elbow bump. We would shake hands back in the day. We would hug, but you elbow bump. Get in the ice bath. The ice bath is where we heal. The contest is over. Start to prepare. Take care of your senators. Take care of your congressmen. Take care of your advocators. Take care of your supporters. Take care of your people. And why are we doing that? Is because we're healing. Step number 4 is probably the most important step I'm going to tell you in life and in battle and in business. Be still. It's time to be still. Because in this stillness, we have to reflect on the battle. And one very, very good pastor told me at one very, very important time in my life, he said, Todd, are you following a person or are you following a belief? And he went on to say that people, Todd, will always let you down. Right now, who you are, where you are. If you don't believe in God, that's fine. The principle holds true. Are you believing in a person or are you believing in your belief structure? And we got a lot of people out there hanging on just a little too tight to the man instead of the belief. Now that we've ended the game and we've elbow bumped and we healed up and now we've decided our purpose is still good and our belief is still good and we know who we're following and we've got it in general. We now gotta watch a game film, man. Let's get in there. We gotta watch the game film. If you're that serious about it, watch the game films. Study up on it. How can we do better? Study you. Study your bias. Study their bias. Study others. And I want you to get stronger. Now we got to change it. You got to change you. You got to change your offense. You got to change your defense. We would never come out the next week with the same offense. We would never come out the next week with the same defense. You change personnel. You do things differently. You don't just go off the rails. And last but not least, I want you to suit up again. It's pretty simple. Stop complaining. Stop blaming. Stop shaming. I want you to own it and zone it. And this is my no mask moment. I'm done with this show. And I'm going to give you the elbow bump right now. And we're going to move on to higher grounds. Till next week, The Wire, differently voiced. Looking forward to hearing from you.